Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're bringing you a South Korean animated zombie movie called Seoul Station. The story follows a woman named Yi-sun as she navigates the zombie-filled Seoul in the hopes of finding a safe place to call home. As always, there are spoilers ahead, so viewers, beware. The movie starts with an old man walking by Seoul Station, clutching his seemingly injured neck. Two men notice the old guy, and one of them even try to help out but is deterred when he catches a whiff of the guy's odor. The two guys watch as the old man sits beside a couple of homeless people, trying hard to catch his breath. We cut to a woman who wakes up suddenly, calling for someone called Kai-woom. She goes outside to look for him, but is greeted by her landlady, who angrily reminds her that the rent is due. She makes up an excuse and continues on to look for him. Meanwhile, back in Seoul Station, another homeless guy sits beside the old man and notices that he's been bitten by something. He tries looking for help at a nearby help center and explains the situation to a nurse. She leads him inside the facility and into a room where three other men are staying. She leaves him with them, but the guy is immediately chased away by the hostile men. Meanwhile, the woman, Hi-sun, finds Kai-woom, who she discovers is taking pictures of her while asleep and intends to pimp her online to strangers. She confronts Kai-woom, telling him she doesn't want to do any of that again. This angers her boyfriend, and it eventually leads to their breakup and to her getting kicked out of their shared house. Meanwhile, we cut to Hi-sun's father, named Suk-kyu, who is informed of his daughter's current situation. He is given the picture of his unconscious daughter getting pimped out online. Back in Seoul Station, the guy tries asking for help once more from a guard, but is driven away once more. He buys painkillers from a local pharmacy, but comes back to see the old man dead from his wounds. He seeks assistance from the police and manages to lead them to the dead man's spot at Seoul Station, only to see that the corpse had mysteriously disappeared. Annoyed, the police officers leave him alone. Elsewhere, Suk-kyu meets up with Kai-woom, where he immediately introduces himself as Hi-sun's father and angrily asks Kai-woom where his daughter is. Back at the station, the homeless people prepare for bed. The homeless guy tries to look for his resurrected friend and sees him attacking another person. Upon closer inspection, the old man is actually eating the other person, and then he runs to attack the other homeless guy. Hi-sun hears the yells of the homeless guy, but is distracted by her phone ringing. She declines the call from Kai-woom, unaware that her now ex-boyfriend and her dad are out looking for her. Suk-kyu and Kai-woom go back to the latter's apartment, thinking that Hi-sun might be there. Kai-woom then starts to say that if it weren't for him, Hi-sun might be dead by now since she practically had no one to help her. Of course, this angers Suk-kyu and deservedly threatens Kai-woom once more. They step inside the room and find it empty. However, they find the landlady, who is now a zombie, attacking a tenant and start to run towards Suk-kyu. The pair manage to kill the landlady, but are trapped inside the bathroom because of another zombie. Meanwhile, Hi-sun finds herself in a subway platform and gets caught in the chaos as hordes of zombies run after people. Hi-sun and a couple of other survivors run to a police station and try to explain the situation. They are followed by the zombies and find themselves trapped inside a cell with a bitten police officer. Back in Kai-woom's house, the pair escape via the bathroom window and climb up to the roof. Kai-woom tries calling Hi-sun, but her phone is all cracked. Meanwhile, at the police station, the officer starts exhibiting signs of turning. He requests for backup and pins the blame on the homeless people going crazy. Kai-woom and Suk-kyu devise a plan to get to Suk-kyu's car. Kai-woom encounters a drunk man who starts to make too much noise, and the zombies turn their attention to him. Thanks to the distraction, Suk-kyu gets to his car and catches up to Kai-woom by the main road. Back in the police station, the officer gets paranoid and threatens his cellmates with a gun, but he is incapacitated by a homeless guy. He gets beat until unconscious, and the remaining survivors steal his gun. The police officer turns and attacks the other homeless man before getting shot in the head. Reinforcements arrive, and the horde starts attacking them. Hi-sun and the other homeless dude manage to escape and are greeted by an EMT. Thinking that they're injured, he takes them to the hospital. Hi-sun gets her phone to work and calls Kai-woom and lets her know that they're coming for her. In the ambulance, the homeless man and Hi-sun find out that the hospital is full of infected people and scramble to explain that those people will turn into zombies. The homeless man tries to take over the wheel, and the ambulance inevitably crash. Hae-sun and the homeless man get out and make their way to the subway tunnels. After encountering a crazy person, the unlikely pair walk along the train tracks. Meanwhile, Suk-kyu and Kai-woong get to the hospital. Suk-kyu decides to go inside the hospital to investigate, only to find it eerily empty. Suk-kyu finds the hospital infested with zombies and goes back to the car in time to escape with Kai-woong once more. Along the train tracks, Hae-sun opens up to the homeless man, saying she wants to go home. But her rants seem to fall on deaf ears. That is until the old man also cries out, saying he wants to go home too. The pair then cry in the middle of the train tracks. Anyway, back to Kai-woong and Suk-kyu. They try to look for Hae-sun once more, but see that the military is starting to organize troops nearby. Hae-sun finally manages to contact Kai-woong and tells her that she's at Hohyun Station. However, due to Hae-sun's frantic screams, she attracts the attention of zombies nearby. They chase Hae-sun and the homeless guy, but are quickly rescued by a couple of survivors nearby. However, they quickly realize that the survivors are mistaken as rioters by the police, and now the pair are trapped in. Suk-kyu and Kai-woong drive to Hohyun Station and try to reason with the police, but they are told that martial law has been declared and are driven away. Meanwhile, one of the isolated people start acting up out of frustration. The homeless guy also vents out his frustration and ends his monologue by trying to climb out of alleyway. He gets on top of the bus and sees the military pointing a gun at him before getting shot in the chest. Hae-sun and the other survivors are tear-gassed in order to get them all to back away. Meanwhile, at the other end of the alley, a horde of zombies start to attack and burst through the flimsy barricade. One man tries to escape by dangling off of a cable and traveling to the opposite building. Hae-sun sees this and tries to follow suit, only to get her foot scratched by the zombies below her. The man tries to help her get to safety, but gets taken by the horde below instead. Hae-sun makes it to the opposite building's roof and, with a couple of zombies following her, has no choice but to parkour her way out of there. She almost gets attacked though and falls to the ground below. She finds herself inside an apartment showroom and calls Kai-woong to inform him where she is, before promptly falling asleep. When she wakes up, she is reunited with Kai-woong and is told that they now can go home. The pair get reacquainted with Suk-kyu, but Hae-sun is alarmed instead of relieved to see her dad. Suk-kyu starts calling her a whore out of nowhere, and Hae-sun finally reveals that Suk-kyu is not her father but her previous pimp. Apparently, Hae-sun stole her biological parents' money, which Suk-kyu was keeping for himself, and that's why Suk-kyu is hellbent on searching for her. Of course, this angers Kai-woong because he's been duped and tries to defend Hae-sun. Hae-sun pleads with Suk-kyu to let her go home, but he doesn't want her to leave until she's paid back her debt. Kai-woong grabs a knife to kill Suk-kyu, but he's easily overpowered and gets himself killed instead. Suk-kyu runs after Hae-sun, and after searching through a couple of rooms, he eventually finds her inside a closet. Hae-sun tries to defend herself, but is easily subdued. Suk-kyu takes Hae-sun to a bed and prepares to rape her, but Hae-sun dies instantly. Sensing the cold body, Suk-kyu tries to perform CPR, still thinking about the money he feels entitled to, but ultimately fails to revive her. While checking for a heartbeat, Suk-kyu sees the scratch mark on Hae-sun's foot. Suk-kyu looks back only to find a zombie Hae-sun staring back at him. The film ends with Hae-sun attacking and killing Suk-kyu as a horde of zombies overtake the whole city. And that concludes this heart-pounding zombie movie. We hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, give us a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Until next time, bye.